Hello everybody, this is Falcon202 from Low Gameage, and I'm going to be diving into the Destiny game that I got. Big shout out to the staff at Game in the Ealing branch for a superbly smooth launch. And going straight into the game, I'm really excited to play it. Let's just jump straight in. So you got three classes here. You got the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock. Okay, now all three of them at the outset will have two signature moves. If you highlight them, you can see them there. Pause if you want to read it. Now, it doesn't just stop there though, because later on you'll see as you get into your talent trees, you can further variate and slightly change how you're going to progress and what you're going to be doing according to your playstyle, right? From my personal experience on the Crucible, would just say associate that with PvP. Titan and Warlock have definitely been the ones that appeal to me the most. That's not to say that Hunter sucks, but I think getting right into the thick of it and getting lots of points, kills, and just being a bigger asset, I would say personally, is a Titan and a Warlock. That's not to say though that the Hunter sucks, but I mean, if you know how to play it, you can probably do even better than Titan and Warlock. But in terms of playstyle, I would definitely say I'd recommend going Titan and Warlock. Because particularly with Titan, you can do this sick-ass AoE move. If you don't know what AoE means, it's like a radial attack. Like you can just slam down and just boss the fuck out of anyone that it hits. And with the Warlock, you have a similar move, but it's more of like an orb that you can just like throw down. So we're looking at the races here, or the character creation side of things. It's pretty good. The downside is it's all presets. And of course, it's good and bad. But if you're from an MMO background, it will suck because I mean you're usually giving a wide array of tools to customize it to your liking. Not all MMOs, obviously. I mean, if you look at WoW or something, then they'll use just presets, anyways. But I have to say, visually, the character creation is stunning. I quite liked it. It was very difficult for me to choose which race I wanted to go with, because they all looked completely fucking badass. But I ended up going with human. The edition I have is the limited edition, which came with the upgraded speed of the mount that you get. You also get your very own unique ship. By unique, it just means everyone that's pre-ordered it has it, which an overwhelming amount have pre-ordered. So I remember going into a fire squad and I'm like, hey guys, look at my ship, and then everyone has it, and I was like, for fuck's sake, mate. It's not really a fucking, but yeah. Yeah, your own ship. You also get the Vanguard Armory, which has a wide array of weapons, which will come in handy when you're at level 20. You don't need them, but they are really cool assets to have, because once you're at 20, it gives you some sort of gear to work with. Quote me if I am wrong. Not only that, you also get two expansion passes. Which basically is, as its name suggests, a pass to your fucking expansions. Because as you're well aware, that the PlayStation 4 will have two timed exclusives on the two upcoming expansions. I remember speaking to the manager at my local game store, and he said, for people that didn't pre-order it from a price point of view, or on a price point of view, it makes no sense, because if you were to buy the standard copy and get a season pass, it'll be a couple of quid more expensive. So I definitely think the pre-order is worth it. If you can get it yourself on a limited edition, try, but it's going to be well nigh impossible. Of course, you can get it second hand at some ridiculous price. Yeah. But let's just talk a little bit about the game as I demonstrate you guys the character creation side of things. If you like your MMOs and you like your shooters, this basically is an amalgamation of both of them. But Not only that, you'll also have that open world side of things as well. But in terms of WoW, I hate to use this as a recurring example, but it basically is like WoW, tinted with a lot more casual undertones to it. Let me start that again. It's a bit like WoW, and a bit like a cool shooter, but it also has that kind of Borderlands thing into it. I guess that would come under like an RPG. So yeah, so imagine a triangle. You got RPG at the top, left corner. You would probably have your shooting, and on the other side you would have your MMO. So it's a bit of each. It's really hard to like do that. But as you can see, that's kind of what you got to work with on as far as the character creation side of the thing goes. They're just presets. But it doesn't really matter, because unless you're in the main city, in which you go third person, I mean that's probably the only time that I've seen myself have a helmet off. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that there is an option to not have it on for display, or if not, that they're probably going to patch that in. We'll see how it goes. I was really torn. I wanted that stupid looking triangle on my forehead, but then I was like, without or with? But then I thought it was best to go without. It's the safest option. Let's go for a clean look. By the way, guys, we as was made clear when we was at the game store, we're trying to look for a solid raid team, because if you keep an eye out for our newscast, the new ones that are about to come up shortly, I know we've been a bit behind on that. We talk a little bit about the raid side of things, and what they did was they got 4 groups of 6 to test the raid on normal difficulty, and the players were exceptionally great. 2 were like, I don't know, like WoW experts, and the other 2 were basically, the point, long story short, they were really good at games. Now, or games that required a certain level of strategy. Now, 2 teams could not get to the end. They had to be fucking skipped. Let me just repeat that. They could not fucking get to the end. Bungie had to pick them up, bloop, 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 and fucking drop them off at the end. And no, well, looking at the results, they probably didn't even fucking kill the motherfucker anyways. The other group got to the last boss without Bungie's assistance. They couldn't do it. An interesting fact made aware to me by an employee was that if you figure out a strategy to easily and fluently complete a raid, that's not really gonna work, because what they're gonna do is they're anti-farming. So they don't want to well, apparently, as far as what the guy said, they don't want to make the process of raids robotic and monotonous to the point where you're kind of like, droning it. I got told that they will patch it out, but I'm not sure about the validity of that statement, because then it gets to the point where there needs to be at least on some core level a little bit of certainty, or otherwise it's going to be, every encounter is going to be like near impossible to do. But I don't know, after playing the game I kind of thought maybe it's not true, because when I was fighting one of the bosses on my missions, it felt a little bit intuitive what to do. Don't get me wrong, it was hard.
We called it the Traveler, and its arrival changed us forever. Great cities were built on Mars and Venus. Mercury became a garden world. Human lifespan tripled. It was a time of miracles. We stared out at the galaxy and knew that it was our destiny to walk in the light of other stars. But the Traveler had an enemy, a darkness which had hunted it for eons across the black gulfs of space. Centuries after our golden age began, this darkness found us. And that was the end of everything. But it was also a beginning.
one thing I like about the delivery of the story is that it's pitched really well in the sense that it's not too difficult for average people to grasp, but at the same time, it's got a bit of depth into it. But yeah, this bit won't be new, so for guys that have played the beta and done the main campaign, you might want to skip a bit ahead past this bit. But for those of you that just want to look at the game and see how the first little bits unfold, please stay tuned and keep watching. Visually, the game was impressive. I'm not gonna fault it. I'm not even gonna try and critique it or criticize it, because I fucking can't. I mean, where are we at now? It was visually stunning. I had a boner when I saw that, and it wouldn't go down. I'll stop talking about boners. And that is Ghost, your companion throughout your Destiny experience, voiced by Peter Dinklage. And if you don't know who Peter Dinklage is, I am offended. No, I'm joking. Peter Dinklage is what people in Game of Thrones refer to as the dwarf, the imp, Tyrion Lannister. I love Game of Thrones. It's like my TV crack. Yeah. Many fans have complained about Peter Dinklage's voice the first time round because they said it sounded, I don't know, like he wasn't really enthusiastic. They hated it. I personally didn't see a problem with it, but nevertheless, Bungie responded to criticisms and made him sound more robotic. As you can see now, Google it. Look at a comparison for the voice. Should be able to find it.
There you are. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian. It worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost. And you, well, you've been dead a long time. So you're gonna see a lot of things you won't understand. This is fallen territory. We aren't safe here. I have to get you to the city. Hold still.
This game is not Halo, but it's made from the guys that did Halo, Bungie, and you can just tell already that although it's not the exact same game, you can tell that the spirit is there, especially the drone-looking thing. It's very reminiscent of the floating fucking orb that you see in Halo, anyways. And I mean, like some of the four-armed mobs, they just look like more sophisticated, more badass elites. See, what I was doing here, I was taking in the sights because I thought the graphics were jaw-dropping, without realizing that at the same time, fucking shitload of people the fallen ones are converging on you, and I'm like, ew.
I didn't bring you back just for you to die again.
Yeah, and that goes telling me, bitch, get the fuck out of here. And I'm just like taking my fucking sweet ass time, like, oh my god, look at the fucking pixels. And I do a really stupid thing here. I couldn't see the stairs because I set the brightness on the recommended levels. Me, right? And obviously dark will actually be dark, but I couldn't see the fucking stairs. So I'm like, where the fuck do I need to go? So I go back there, and then I fucking realized that there were stairs there, and I was just not looking there. Yeah.
Okay, I need to find you a weapon before the Fallen find us. Quiet. They're right above us. Hang tight. Fallen thrive in the dark. We won't. We need more light. I'll see what I can do.
I actually realized them there. I was actually yelling. I was like, oh, he's there! He's there! But yeah.
hope you know how to use that thing.
If you do buy a pre-order bundle, make sure to redeem your DLCs before you actually launch up the game. Me being the typical genius that I am, did it after, and I rebooted it a couple of times and it's still not there, even though it's showing as installed. So maybe I'll give it a bit of time and then log on and see what happens. But this part, what's on this part? This is me being the typical trophy whore that I am, looking around for any collectibles to make my second playthrough easier, but I realised it doesn't work that way. So you get Grimoire cards and points. There was basically a law-related currency. Law as in L-O-R-E, not L-A-W. And the rewards, it's quite fun going around collecting them and trying to go for them, but they're not related to progression, so that doesn't really tickle my interest. If it's gear, stats, you know, or something like that, you know, something along those lines, I'm interested. But if it's novelty and, you know, just to make yourself look a bit different but not actually give you any competitive edge, mate, it's not my cup of fucking tea, mate. You know what I'm saying? I have to say, this feels a lot better like Halo, not because of any stupid reason, but because I remember during the testing stages, they dropped down how much damage it takes to like take things out. And I think it was a really good idea, because in Halo you had shields and then health, and then like it just took so much shit to take someone down. And I know you're meant to be like fucking mech warriors and like fucking NASA fucking 3000 suits and shit, but it gets to the point where like it doesn't feel right. I don't personally like that took like so much bullets to like take something out. Obviously excluding headshots, but yeah. So I'll skip a little bit ahead. And yeah, combat, you can see for yourself, it's pretty solid. I also like the fact that they juke. It makes the combat a lot more challenging. I thought it was really cool. I remember they kept that from Halo. You like fire like some projectiles, or you just dodge and weave and shit like it was the fucking NFL. So you got a special weapon, and you also have the primary. And ammo is plentiful. It's always down the ground. You can see it. I'm not a fan of the shotgun though, to be honest. It's just way too slow, and it doesn't do that much damage in comparison to the other ones. Like, I mean, if you like holistically look at it, then the other weapons are a lot better. But obviously, this is just the basic fucking starter shit. So yeah. So once you're done with that bit of the tutorial level, or what arguably is a tutorial level, you when you branch out, I think something really cool happened here. And you'll get to see this now. Well, obviously, like everyone's experienced it, I think. But
this was an old Cosmodrome. There's got to be something we can fly out of here.
It just looked really cool. I remember from watching the beta, like a random global event would just like start like that right out the bat. I'm not saying that is, but I remember like during the beta that something similar to that happened, and it was just a huge reskinned Scarab from Halo, but it was amazing. It was like an epic battle just taking it down. But yeah. But obviously this is not one of those events, but they usually like start in this fashion. In the open world.
Fallen ships this close to the surface. Move.
See, I thought like, because you don't see the ships, they all like go further to the right. I was thinking, oh, I got plenty of time to run across, without realizing that they're all fucking already there. It was like do 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 do. Well, I can get to this bit, and I was like, oh. Oh well. going to skip a little bit ahead, guys. This is an interesting bit, guys. It shows you what the armor side of things look like. I already like the user interface. You can see where you have bits to replace with, it will just shine like that. And before we look at any armor side of things, we're going to look at the ability side of things. So this is like the talent tree, so to speak. And the first upgrade that was the only one that I'm able to do at the time is that one, which is basically the grenade. The grenade function is an ability rather than it being like a physical item, which was pretty cool for this. But you can just pause as I highlight each one, so you can have a vague idea of what these upgrades are like. Yeah, so
I'm picking
we'll
up
look at
signs
the
of an
armor
old jump ship.
in a bit.
Could be our ticket out of here.
I think it's best to wait until I'm in the city, but apologies for that. Thought I'd skip it a bit because I don't want to bore you guys. I really want to get into the nitty-gritty stuff of the game.
We're lucky the fallen has completely picked and clean.
Will it fly?
I can make it work. Okay, it's not going to break orbit. It just might get us to the city. Now, about that trans man.
Oh man, the mobs or the foes look so nice in this game. Not nice, cool. Yeah.
You can come back for them when you're ready. Let's get you home.
You see, games that have tried to do this, like Borderlands, they had quite a bland story, in my opinion, because they were trying to be too comedic, non-serious. And I think, because with games that have such a huge scale, it's a bit difficult to try and keep a solid narrative going. But so far, I've been impressed with it. So at the end of every mission, you get your kind of summary progress, how well you did. You can also get rewards. Obviously, you can set the mission difficulty to hard as opposed to normal, giving you a bigger reward upon successful completion. But I actually attempt a mission on hard. Well, I think it's on part 2 or part 3. You guys will be able to see how difficult it actually is. Bearing in mind I completed it by myself, I was quite pleased with the result. Especially because there was a boss fight in it as well, and the boss I died quite a few times. So now you'll be taking a look at the capital city, and if you are familiar with MMOs like WoW or any other MMOs or RPGs that have a capital city, it's very much similar in the sense that once you get there, you'll have vendors in which you can return currency that you gain depending on what you do. So if you get Crucible, you get distinct type of currency to get PvP orientated or PvP orientated gear. Much similar if you do PvE, player versus everything. Fuck it up, I got the fucking abbreviation. Well, you're basically killing NPCs, doing raids and stuff. You get distinct type of currency, in addition to what loot you may potentially get from completing a raid. But they are fucking fiendishly difficult from what I've heard. Make sure you check out the next newscast where we talk a little bit in depth about that. Bearing in mind that it's launched like less than 24 hours, despite everyone's fears, it's been solid, mate. Everyone was like, oh, it's gonna crash, PS4 was like, I went on there and the network was like, what? Oh, there was a launch. There was a Destiny launch. Ah, yeah, cool. Yeah. I didn't fucking feel the fucking thing, but so obviously, city.
The only place the traveler can still protect. It took centuries to build. Now, we're counting every day it stands. And this tower is where the Guardians live.
So the city is very well laid out. It's very easy to navigate around. It's,
Confirmed and acknowledged.
so here you have it. It's bumped into quite a fair amount of players here as well. But let's look at the map here, guys. So this is the map. You can see everything's well laid out. You've got the quartermasters for each distinct type of gear you're going to do. The game does a very good job at making you go to some of the vanguards or the vendors that you would regularly go to get stuff for, well, at least at the beginning stages. So your postmaster there, you got your quartermasters, your shipwrights. It's all intuitive. They've done a very good job. If you look at like a typical map for an MMO, let's use WoW for an example, and you look at the map, you can just see how the city's laid out and where you need to go. But the HUD is also very nice in the sense that things will just pop up. You can just see it. You just know where to go to. Like them. Go to the postmaster, even though there's fuck all mail in my inbox because it's far too early. But it's pretty cool. I like the user interface. So try and do a bit of exploration.
Bye.
But after playing with a couple of friends of mine, they did show me a couple of locations for dead ghosts that you can revive. Pretty cool if you want to get some grimoire points. Obviously, every time you hit the motion pad, it gives you like a quest update or summary or like progress tracker. Another cool thing is if you look at the bottom left, it's so easy to get back on your ship. You don't have to go to a specific area to just like dock on there.
Guardian.
So this is the Crucible handler. So you can see that you need the Crucible currency, as well as current, the standard money in the game. And then you can look there. I highlight what currencies you need, what the requirements, and then you can buy particular gear. Now, if you played WoW, there's a tier vendor or PvP vendor. You can buy specific armor. And the nice thing about it is it's also got an armor previewer, so you can see what it looks like on your character, as well as the stats of the particular item that you might want a window shop for. And that's the gauntlets. And as you can see, there's like stuff that you can slot into your gear as well.
Catch you later. Do you think you're good enough?
Dead orbit once.
So after faffing about a little bit, you can see around this table there for different classes there's the vanguard for it, but my one's at the far end with the green blip above it. So I go there, and this is what you'll see whatever class you play, and you get this bit.
Another who left the roof.
Don't know why I stopped there, but so this is it. I mean, I didn't like the gear. The gear was quite basic. I only bought like one or two pieces in the end. But you do come back here to get rewards for successfully completed missions across the globe.
Don't let it go to waste.
See, I'm looking at what's on offer here. They're better than what I got, but some you need to be at this particular level, as you can see. So none of it really appealed to me. I'd rather hold on to my currency, but the armors are a supplement. Don't see them as like the end all be all. Unless you're doing Crucible, obviously it's recommended to get a good set of core gear before you do that, otherwise you'll get completely smashed by people that are way ahead of you in the game. And they'll also have access to better armor. Of course, if you get to the level cap, you can probably try and go for the Vanguard DLC that comes with your pre-order. Get the armor sets.
Stand firm.
Personally, I want to complete the campaign as far as possible before doing any of that. From the beta experience, my friend Super King, the footage is in the library. He wasn't doing too well because people had better superior gear. But already you can see that gear that I got from the Vanguard is a lot better than the one that I started out with. But obviously it gets more complicated than that. But there's a white rarity. These are just trash armor. Another cool thing is when you highlight each weapon, you can see what other weapons you have in your library or fucking you know, on your persons. There is a vault, so obviously if you fill up those spaces, you can drop them in the bank. But even the bank is kind of. So now we're gonna go look at the gunsmith.
Okay.
So very similar to the way the previous vendor worked. But you can choose for successfully doing what you did in the first segment. You get to choose a reward. Now, I chose I believe the scout rifle, which actually served me pretty well until I came across a better upgrade. But it doesn't really. It's not no significance. They're all on the same footing, just different style and rate of fire and stuff like that. Then we look at some of the better stock from the same gunsmith.
Keep us safe.
And yeah, I go then I go and equip it. You see, like the UE is really well designed. It's very smooth. Like it's not a hassle to like get gear and then put it on, and because in World of Warcraft you even had to have mods, third-party mods, to kind of make transitioning to each gear that you might have for each particular thing to do. You know, it's just a hassle going through your sets, and also you had to like personally I had to double check everything to make sure I was running this right set. But I mean, with this one, it was well thought out. Excellent on the delivery. So next we're going to the shipwright, which is pretty cool. Because I didn't redeem my codes the first time I launched it, I wasn't able. You won't be able to see my pre-order stuff here show up here. But it's really cool that you can do stuff with your ship, do work on it and stuff like that. So I really like that. A nice customization feature. So when you got a firing squad and a raid squad, the difference between a fire and a raid squad is a fire squad is 1 to 3 players, and a raid is 6 players. I believe I fucking get lost. Ta-da! Found it. So here's a little display of some of the stuff you can do right now. Of course, you get the Arcadia class jump ship.
I made some
It's a
of my
fucking
own
no-brainer.
modifications to this one.
But then you can see here some of the stuff that you can get. I go through it a little bit quickly, my apologies, but just make sure you pause it and then just read
Hey,
what they
don't let
have.
anything happen to that ship of yours.
It's of no significance at this level right now. I'm just showing you guys briefly why this game is amazing. And yeah. Guys, that was Falcon 202 from the Low Gameage team, and that was part 1 of a little insight into what the game's got. The other ones won't be as long, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for more people to join our team, raiding team in the game, so be sure to drop us a friend request if you're serious about the raids. And big shout out to Game for the successful and smooth pre-order launch, and I hope to see you guys soon. God bless. Falcon 202 out.